Welcome back. All right, so there's 4 games tonight in the NHL, but one's done, and it's done early enough. I can do the review of this one, and then I can review the other 3 later tonight. So if you're a Canes fan, odds are you're excited this is going up already. If you're a Habs fan, I could have posted it later if I wanted to, right? So it's Primo versus Ronta, and it's really important for anti-Ronta to have a good game. I think there were mixed results in this, but that's still better than some of the games he had earlier in the year. So good early back and forth. Aho has a rush chance that's held, and then Svechnikov from the high slot on his own entry. Svechnikov tips in a burn shot. So Aho with the secondary assist at 135. So good start for the Carolina Hurricanes. The Habs look to answer. They can't get to the net, though. The shots are 3-0 Carolina, 3 minutes in. Stahl has a net feed that's tipped wide. The Canes press 3.5 minutes into the game. Gallagher has a shot that's saved. The rebound's held. Drury fires one wide on a rush. There's a near miss by Aho from the slot. Habs draw themselves a power play. The Canes clear. Habs go offside on their next attempt to come in. Then there's a shorthanded rush by Teravainen. He fires high. Gouli has a shot that's tipped wide. The power play's killed off. No shots on net for Montreal during that power play. Canes press with 9 minutes left. Suzuki's denied. The rebound's cleared. Aho has a rush chance that's saved. And at 12:40, Jesper Fast scores to tie the game, or to make the score 2-0, I should say, from Aho and Burns. So Aho and Burns with 2 points each already in this game. So it was buried and close. It was a good cycle by Carolina to set that up. But Montreal does answer. At 13:51, it's Stevens from Pizzetta and Struble. Stevens roofs a rebound. Canes press for response. Burns has a one-timer that's held. The Habs press with 5 minutes left. Matheson has a tip shot that deflects out. The Canes score, but there's a goalie interference challenge, and yeah, right away I pulled the goal off the board. And the reason that I figured they were going to call it goalie interference is because Drury's in the crease and makes contact with the goaltender before the puck is there. So by standard definition, that is goalie interference. You can't, if the contact's outside the crease, you can make the argument that that's his ice too. But since the contact's inside the crease, that's the goalie's area. And so yeah, that puck, that one ends up coming off of the board. So the crowd's unhappy. The ref "you suck" chant gets started, but with 3:46 left, there's a power play for the Canes. Jarvis has a shot that's saved. They cycle. Aho has a screen shot that's held. Canes cycle again. Natchez to Drury, near miss there. The power play's killed off. 2 shots on that power play, but it's all killed off. Stahl has a backhand that's blocked as the Canes press. 34.1 seconds left. The Habs with a power play. So Monahan has a shot that's saved. The rebound's cleared. And then on a rush back into the zone, Matheson buries a wraparound on the power play from Monahan and Primo at 19:56. So it's 2-2 after the first period. And what I thought was interesting was Carolina outplayed Montreal in that period, but it's tied. And so if you're a Canes fan, you're concerned about the goaltending. 2 goals on 7 shots may not have made you feel a little better there. So second period, early press by the Canes, and they score. Fost scores from Nason and Drury at 1:29. That's the second goal tonight for Jesper Fost. He hadn't had a goal in 17 games coming into tonight. So the Canes look for another. Savard has a shot that's held as the Habs look to answer. The shots are 4-2 for Carolina, 4.5 minutes in. There's a net feed to Stahl. That gets blocked out. Matheson has a shot that's held to an ovation. The fans really want to see Ronta turn this around. I will say for Carolina fans, the way they're rallying behind Ronta, it's kind of nice to see. We'll see if that continues. Jarvis has a rush chance that's kicked aside. Gallagher has a sharp angle shot that's held. Svechnikov to Aho, near miss. The Habs clear it out. The Canes then press halfway through the period. Near miss by Pizzetta on the net drive. The Canes clear it out after that. Matheson has a shot that's blocked. Gallagher's then denied at the net. Canes get pinned down a bit. They needed a change. Dvorak can't bury one in close as the Habs press. Dvorak nearly scores. Ronta ends up sitting on the puck before it can get buried. So he's not sure where the puck is. Just sit down. And it worked. So absolutely good move there. And Ronta gets some cheers at the horn because Montreal was coming on in that second period. And late in the second especially, they had some really good chances. And Ronta saved them all. So third period, early press by the Canes. But it's an end-to-end rush and Josh Anderson scores. It's only 25 seconds into the period, but it was a Shea turnover. Basically, puck goes back to Shea at the point. Anderson takes it away. And so while it looked like the Canes were setting up for what might be another goal, instead we have a 3-3 tie. Drury then has a chance to deflect out. Aho beats out an icing call, but the shots are 2-0 for the Habs, 2.5 minutes in. Stahl has a shot that's held as the Canes press for the lead. And interestingly enough, the Habs didn't get another shot in the rest of the game, not one that hit the net. So there's a power play for the Habs. There's an early clear. There's a shorthanded rush by Jarvis. An Aho to pass to Pesce gets picked off. I thought the Canes had better chances shorthanded than Montreal did on the power play in the third. Habs set up. The Aho clears it out again. Power play's killed off. It says one shot on net, which means they must have either taken that shot away or they took away one of the two shots the Habs had in the first 2.5 minutes. Habs go back to the power play. There's a shorthanded rush by Jarvis. Habs set up. They cycle. Another shorthanded Jarvis chance gets deflected wide. Fost clears to end it. There's no shots on net for Montreal during that power play. Canes looking for the stretch pass. They were really trying to get that pass past the red line and get that home run play. They just weren't quite able to get that going. Credit to Montreal for defending that as well. Teravainen has a shot that's saved, and Pesce had one right after. That saved as well. Pressed by the Canes with 7.5 minutes left. Drury has a shot that's held. Drury's then denied on a fast break. He wanted a call there for what he felt was a slash. But then it's a face-off win right after, and the Canes get it anyway. Svechnikov scores from Aho at 13:49, his second goal of the game. Svechnikov is heating up for Carolina. Habs look to answer. Nason drills Slavkovsky, which draws a crowd. Clean hit, though. No penalty on the play. Things get pushy with 5:06 left. After that hit on Slavkovsky, there's a little bit more emotion in the game. Canes press with 4 minutes left. With 3:52 left, the Canes go to the power play. Near miss for Svechnikov. The Habs clear. There's a near miss for Nason. The fans called another to try to make it a 5-on-3. The referee does not call it. There's another clear. The Canes cycle late. There ends up being one shot during that power play, and as it ends, the ref "you suck" chant is going yet again. Stahl's denied from the slot. Primo holds. With 1:19 left, the Habs call a timeout. So again, they're just down by one, but they're having a hard time getting the goaltender out because the Canes aren't letting them set up. They aren't even giving him the red line at this point in the game. Canes then draw a power play in the final minute. So 58.4 seconds left. We get a power play for Carolina, which essentially ends it, but at Montreal not giving up. They're only down by one. They get the puck out. They end up pulling the goaltender, which means Svechnikov hits the empty net for the hat trick at 19:41. Andrei Svechnikov is a prime talent when it comes to his shot, and it's nice to see that shot has returned tonight. We'll see if that remains the case in their upcoming games. But for Carolina, a team that needed a win, that makes it a 2-goal lead. And yeah, hat trick for Svechnikov. And then they did the Storm Surge. You know what I find interesting about Carolina? They still do the Storm Surge. Now, they don't do them as like fancy as they did the first year they did them. But they still do a Storm Surge after every game. And I don't hear everybody crying that it's destroying the game and the integrity of sport. Yada, yada, yada. But anyways, yeah, Carolina gets that 5-3 win. It's their 10th win at home. They're 19-13-4. They're now in a playoff spot as well. Montreal 15-14-5, so they drop a game towards 500. They're now one game above. Shots on net, 15-7 Carolina in the first, 12-7 Montreal in the second, 12-2 Carolina in the third. Final shots 34-21 for Carolina. Power plays, Montreal 1 for 4, Carolina 1 for 3. The hits, 17-15 Carolina. Primo saved 29 out of 34, but despite his save percentage tonight, I thought Primo was good. Ronta saved 18 out of 21. This may be a sign that he's getting it back together. That being said, it's a little early to necessarily say it, but hey, he got the win, and Carolina kept those shots against down. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It means a lot. I will talk to you again soon.